just to start off with, are there any additions or changes to the agenda?
I don't have any.
Okay. Any requests for comment from members of the public at this time? You can comment or raise your hand, I believe, in the chat box, that is. Okay, seeing none. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Any request to discuss any items, to remove any items for discussion, that is? I believe that I would like to remove item 3.9 for discussion. That's the solid waste implementation plan inclusion item, just for folks following along. Any other items for discussion? Okay, hearing none, the consent agenda passes. I think we can just start off with 3.9.
Correct.
So Sarah, I don't know if you or a staff want to just give a little bit of background on that.
Yeah, Josh Estey is actually here at the meeting, and Josh is the one who manages the SWIP inclusion. So I would ask Josh if you could walk through 3.9 for the board, please.
Sure. So this is a little bit unique in that we normally have requests to have facilities included in our SWIP that manage solid waste. Generally, that's what the SWIP is for. This is a little unique because what they're proposing to the state is that they used waste material to fill in a hole, essentially. And because they're using waste material for that project, the state is requiring them to get a categorical disposal facility permit. And that in itself is enough to warrant them to go through this process of getting included in our SWIP. So it's more of just the process playing out. Anybody that gets that type of permit is required to get included in whatever district their facility is located in their SWIP. In discussing this with Sarah, this isn't really impacting any of our operations, and seemingly no reason for us to be a barrier in this. I will be chatting with Buzz Buzz Willow with the state when I send him the letter, just to ping a couple questions off of him. But I trust that their process is going to make sure that whatever they're going to do to make sure that that the process is environmentally sound is being followed. But there's nothing that we can really do to stand in the way. Our process is just to make sure that it's not negatively impacting the solid waste operations and management in the district.
Okay. Yeah, this drew my attention. It definitely did not seem routine. So I wanted to just get a little bit more background on it. Are there questions from commissioners? Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, and I realize Josh just said it's not our purview, and I understand that, but just wondering, Sarah, do we know that there's a process? Given I only live a mile from this site, is there a process that's going to be in place so that it's ensured that they aren't putting hazardous waste that could leach into the groundwater?
Oh, that's a great question. Josh, are you aware if there's an additional public process for this? Normally with a categorical certification, there would be.
Yeah, there will be a public comment period. Unfortunately, we are kind of step one of their process. So they need to get included in the SWIP before they submit any documents to the state. And the state will ask for that before they do that. So we don't have even their draft permit application yet. When I see that, I'll be happy to grab that and send it along. That should do a pretty good job outlining what materials they're allowed to to fill that old quarry in with. My guess is that the state's going to be pretty strict with the materials they allow in there. The thing that popped my eyes open a little bit was the fact that they're draining surface water into the Winooski. My guess is that there's a lot of moving parts to this, and it wasn't approached lightly. But certainly when we get those drafts, both Janine and I are logged into the environmental notice bulletin. We'll get notified when those get put up there, and we'll be happy to share those documents with you all. And certainly, if warranted, make comments on behalf of the district. But certainly you as a resident can make those comments as well. So we'll share that when that information gets populated.
Yeah, I
Josh,
appreciate that. Thank
Josh,
you.
let's make sure to CC Liz as well.
Yeah.
Colchester rep.
Yep.
Go ahead, Alan.
I can remember when this was proposed by Villeneuve for a landfill site. So
Ah.
if you remember that, Paul.
Yeah. Indeed.
Hmm.
The quarry on the other side of the road was filled in by UVM when it built its hospital, but it was all ground excavation material from what I understand. So it wasn't,
Yeah.
Waste. It was, anyway.
The parking garage.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I had some concerns that jumped out to me from the memo, that it didn't appear to just be inert waste per se. There wasn't a lot of detail, and so that just raised some red flags for me as to like what actually are we talking about, and why I had some hesitation to not have any further discussion or insights as to what exactly we're talking about with this inclusion.
Yeah, and Bryn, the language that I put in the memo is the language that was included in the letter to us. So that's as much detail as we've gotten so far. My guess is that it is going to be mostly, ABC, asphalt, brick, and concrete, and likely some dirty stumps. And beyond that, they'll probably take whatever fill they can get. But again, that should be outlined mostly in the facility management plan as part of their permit application. And if there's something that raises red flags for us as part of that facility management plan, we will certainly put our hands up and make a comment on that. But we will be looking to make sure that it is inert material, to your point.
And I'm trying to remember, as a categorical permit, what type of public comment period this is. So it may not be a 30-day, it may just be a 14-day.
I think it might be, yeah.
Okay,
We'll
so,
verify that.
all right. Yeah,
I will make sure. I'll make a phone call to Buzz when we send back the letter. Just let him know that we are interested in following this along. We have been having some issues with notifications coming over from the ENB, and I'll just make sure I put a tickler on my calendar to make sure we're checking that more often and making sure we don't miss the comment period.
yeah. I also encourage you to reach out and let them know that the general email inbox for them, to let them know that you're having some issues and if they can troubleshoot that for you, because you certainly don't want to miss those opportunities, because it definitely can be difficult to get your comments received after the fact.
Yeah, we've kind of been going back and forth. Both Janine and I have comments into them, and it's sort of in troubleshooting mode right now for them, trying to understand why we're not seeing them. And we haven't missed anything big, knock on wood. But to your point, we don't want to miss those any of them that come across. So
Yeah, and it would be
We're
good
working on
for. Yeah, I'm glad you've been reaching out to them. So to the extent that you need to, Sarah, if it's beneficial to let and our leadership know that you're working through that, not just the staff level, it may be worthwhile as well.
Yeah, I've noticed that notices that come to me are coming in groups. So it used to be pretty regular, and now I'm getting a bunch at one time. So there could be some glitches there.
Might be.
I can follow
Okay.
up.
So at this point, are there any other questions from the commissioners? Okay, hearing none. We'd like to entertain a motion to move this for SWIP inclusion. Sarah, do you want to read the language or?
Sure, I can read the resolution. The Chittenden Solid Waste District's Board of Commissioners hereby resolves that the J. Hutchins Inc. Quarry Project, located adjacent to Lime Kiln Road in Colchester, Vermont, be included in the district's solid waste implementation plan as described in a letter to the district dated March 9, 2021, sent by Benjamin Heath of Donald Hamlin Consulting Engineers, Inc., contingent upon J. Hutchins Inc. obtaining and maintaining compliance with all necessary local, state, and federal permits.
So moved. South Burlington.
I see a
Second,
second from
Essex.
Logan.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstain? Any oppose? All right, hearing none. Sounds like it passes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Okay, so the next order of business is the annual organizational meeting. And Sarah, do we have a date for that?
It is always the June meeting, so that would be
June 23rd.
23rd. Thank you.
All right. So the reason why primarily this is on the agenda tonight, it being a couple of months out, is that I have recently been elected to the Winooski City Council, and I'm not going to pursue the board chair position after the end of this year, and just want to let the commissioners know as early as possible that that's not something I will be able to continue on with. I am hoping to be able to stay on the board as a commissioner, but I won't be able to fulfill either leadership role well if I attempt to do both. So in fairness, after June, I will not be seeking to fill the chair seat for a second year.
And I just want to say thank you to Bryn for your leadership this year. I think we've had a really great interactions and really well-run meetings and such thoughtful conversation and debate. And I really want to thank you for doing such a wonderful job. I appreciate it very much.
And I second that motion too. I think Bryn, you've done great, and just really, it's been a breath of fresh air, so to speak, if you know what I mean.
Well, thank you all. And I do have quite a bit of passion for participating with CSWD and this board. So I do hope to continue on. So thank you so much for the opportunity to serve as chair this past year as well. So I believe at this point, Sarah, we can review or entertain a motion to move to executive session.
Yes. Amy, do you have language?
I do. I move that the Board of Commissioners of the Chittenden Solid Waste District go into executive session to discuss contract negotiations with respect to the organics diversion facility and confidential attorney-client communications to provide legal services where premature general public knowledge would clearly place the district, its member municipalities, and other public bodies or persons involved at a substantial disadvantage, and to permit staff and the solid waste district attorneys to be present for this session.
So moved, South Burlington.
Seconded, Essex.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? All right, we'll see you over there.